Pepe's death has led the charge for hippo world domination. Pablo Escobar was well known for his shenanigans, you know, being the king of cocaine and all. He started building up some insane wealth, starting with kidnappings, and as his later title suggests, cocaine. He would smuggle tons of cocaine into the US multiple times a year and bought a bunch of land right here, along with all sorts of luxuries to help him trade out even more powder. And what's a better luxury than a nice little zoo with all sorts of animals? Of course, smuggled from all sorts of other zoos. Escobar went on with more shenanigans, but was known in the area as Robin Hood Paisa because of all of his help to the poorest neighbors in Medellin, with new roads, power lines, and even football fields. Eventually, his gangster bully behavior caught up to him, and the Colombian special forces made sure that he would stop. And this left all sorts of problems that slowly either got resolved or didn't, but perhaps the most interesting result came from that silly zoo of his. 4 hippos, 1 male, 3 female, were smuggled from a zoo in the US during Escobar's reign, and once he was gone, the government said they're too heavy, so they kinda just stuck around. It's a good thing they were able to relocate most of the other animals to other zoos, but turns out Colombia is simply ideal for these fellows, even compared to their native African land. Good temperature, nice and humid, more water, and 0 predators. So of course, these now free hippos were thriving in the environment. And let me tell you, this dude got busy. In 2007, Colombia checked out the Magdalena River and said, hey look, there's a few more. How neat. So now there's a genuine population of hippos in Colombia, thanks to Mr. Pablo. And the government is kinda stressing out. Hippos, like I said, thriving, meaning they kinda dominate the area. They eat all the plants, pollute the waters, and are completely overpowered if they got a grudge against any of the locals. One of these hippos has been named Pepe. Pepe was like any other hippo living it up in Colombia. He vibed in the Magdalena River and even had a mate, Matilda, and a kid, Hip. Pepe took from his grandparents' adopter and did some shenanigans of his own, walking through town, breaking fences, and even killing cattle, which the Colombian government was not too fond of. According to the charts, there could be 1,500 Colombian hippos in a couple decades, and they would continue to invade the precious Colombian land. So the government decided enough is enough and authorized hunters to dispose of a few hippos as population control, starting with Pepe and his family. Photos leaked after they shot down Pepe, and this did not sit well with the public. Animal rights groups in Colombia and all over the world were furious about this decision, and the outcry eventually stopped the kill order on Matilda and Hip. But it goes so much deeper than the lives of these hippos. Escobar's zoo and surrounding land became a theme park for tourists, and it took in hippos as its mascot. People in the area started to connect with these massive beasts, making hippos a part of the Colombian identity. And it doesn't stop there. People don't just love hippos, people love Escobar's hippos. Like I mentioned earlier, Escobar was a Robin Hood figure in so many of these less fortunate areas of Colombia, mainly Medellin, and they have a positive relationship with Escobar's legacy. Pepe's death signified not a shift in the public mindset, but an awakening. Much like the beloved gorilla Harambe, this brought awareness to animal rights and their right to live, especially when it has to do with some form of human involvement. The death of Pepe made the government aware of the public's perception that these hippos were there to stay. This put them in quite the pickle. Too many hippos could mean huge environmental shifts and potential dangers, but killing them off would result in even worse outcry and potential dangers. So just this year, they came up with a new solution. It's your problem now. Colombia plans on giving like half of these guys to India and Mexico, spreading the hippo kingdom to 2 more of the continents, with only 3 remaining. You might ask, oh, why can't they just give them back to Africa where they're naturally from? When you transport any animal to new areas, it's going to carry with it the diseases and bacteria and all that fun stuff with it. Bringing Colombia hippos to Africa would also bring Colombia disease to not only the African hippos, but could endanger other wildlife and even humans in the area. Mexico and India apparently say they can have it under control, not just with the disease, but population growth. While this may be true, I see this as an absolute win for the hippos, spreading their rule to the farthest reaches of the planet, one group at a time. So now for the real question. Are you Team Pepe or Team Colombia government? Do you think these hippos need to be controlled, or will you embrace the rise of the planet of the hippos? Let me know about any other hippo topics you want me to talk about, or literally anything else interesting, and of course subscribe.